This guy was a talent. He stabilized the Blue Jays pitching staff, was their number 3 starter pretty well for much of the mid-'80s, won more than 12 games in the season 3 straight years, was a good teammate, one of the best Venezuelans of the 1980s to play Major League Baseball. And Leal had his fans across Canada, across Central America, across the world, because he would bring it in every game he played. A very, very big drink of water, well over 6 feet, 205 pounds, built strong, built tough. Now, Luis Enrique Leal Alvarado, born in Barquisimeto, Lara State in Venezuela, played again between 80 and 85 for the Jays. He signed with the Jays as an amateur free agent for the start of the 79 season. His most productive campaign came in 84, when he posted a record of 13-8 with a 3.89 ERA and 134 strikeouts. In a 6-year Major League career, he had a record of 51-58 with a 4.14 ERA, nearly 500 strikeouts and 3 shutouts and 946 innings pitched. Now, very deceptive. But basically, with the changeover in Toronto, the 85 and 86 season, he couldn't make the squads. He eventually held on with the AAA Syracuse Chiefs, but was eventually traded to the Braves with Damaso Garcia for Craig McMurtry in February 87. He never found a place in Atlanta, as he did not make the spring training roster, nor of any of Atlanta's minor league teams. At the time of his retirement, Leal ranked behind only Jim Clancy and Dave Steve among the Blue Jays' career leaders in stats, innings, wins, losses, strikeouts, and walks. He also made baseball history as he was opposing starting pitcher for the Blue Jays on May 15, 81, when Len Barker of the Indians pitched a perfect game against him. Though mostly a starting pitcher throughout his career, he did achieve one save. On a classic night on May 19, 81, he pitched 3 1/3 innings, allowing 1 run to close out a 9-5 Blue Jay victory. Now, he was inducted into the Venezuelan Baseball Hall of Fame Museum in 2008. Now, Venezuela has had some good players through the years, but of course, you're looking at Luis Aparicio, Cesar Tovar, Enzo Hernandez, but Fred Manrique, of course. But of the many, many top players from Venezuela that played in Major League Baseball over the years, and there's been many, for some reason, Luis Leal stands out because he solidified. I saw him in 1983 in Toronto. He didn't pitch, but it was there for ABC Game of the Week that Howard Cosell announced. And in that announcement, he said Toronto is going places because their top 3 starters, Leal, Steve, and Clancy, are getting more and more run support. It was a glory year from 83, glory dynasty from 83 on. Now, why it didn't work for him later on, sometimes a pitcher loses all his momentum after a while. But those years where Toronto, in the shortened season, 81, they lost a ton of games. But Leal was the person, and Steve and Clancy, that drew us from, having one of the worst franchises in Major League Baseball to be towards a 500 team and eventually becoming a contender. Tony Fernandez as well, Damaso Garcia, Alfredo Griffin, getting Cliff Johnson and getting Dave Collins in. And it made a big difference. And of course, you had like Mosby and Upshaw and Barfield and Bell and Gruber and everybody else. But Lou Leal, we really appreciate you as a player, as a man, because in Toronto, wasn't from St. Pedro de Macorís, but the big Latin influence, the 1980s for the Blue Jays, the Latin influence, well, the Mormons as well. They had a few Mormons on the team. That's another story altogether. The Mormons and the Latinos. I'm not joking. That's a weird mix. Danny Ainge and everybody else. But the idea, ladies and gentlemen, Louis Leal, a very important announcer, Vin Scully once said, this guy is going places. And this was his second big season with Toronto. And it really, really he played out. We really miss his style. Not really a Louis Tiant style, but what you say is what you get, a very workmanlike pitcher. So if you like what we're doing with our 1980s Toronto Blue Jay Vintage podcast, let us know what a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And don't forget, okay, Blue Jays, let's play ball. Bye-bye.